Right.
Hi, Professor. My name is Alicia, and I will be explaining the flat file persistence class and this test file. And this class is the part of the persistence service that uses the file to store, update, and manage the data using the JSON file. So we have two parts to be explained here: flatfile.test.ts and the flatfile.ts. The flatfile.ts is the implementation file, and the test.ts is the test file that we use to test the methods. So the main purpose of this flatfile.ts file is this class saves and manages the data in the JSON files inside a folder called the flatfile.db, simulating a small file-based database system. So the constructor, what it does is when you create an instance of the class, it checks if the folder flatfile.db exists. If it does not exist, it will create the folder to store the data file. So here we imagine this as setting up the database folder before inserting any tables. I mean the JSON files. Now the create name string, this method creates a new JSON file like fooexample.json, and it only creates the file if it doesn't already exist. And the file is initialized with an array. And we'll think of this instance as creating an empty table ready to hold the rows. Now the insert method, what it does is it loads the current data from the file, appends a new object to the array, and saves the updated array back into the file. And this is like inserting a new row into a table. Now the update extends method, the main purpose is to find the object in the JSON array by the ID. And if found, it will replace the old object with the new one. If it is not found, then it will throw an error like a record not found. Now comes the delete method, and the function is to remove the object matching the ID. And if no object is removed, that is, if it doesn't exist, then it will throw an error, record not found. And this is like running an SQL delete command. Moving to the drop name string method, what it does, it deletes the entire JSON file for that data set if it exists. Like, think of it like removing the entire table. So this private get path, what it does is it builds the full path to a file using the current directory. So this is about the flatfile.ts. Moving to the flatfile.test.ts. And this file tests each method of the class to make sure that they are working fine or correctly. So moving to the describe constructor. So what this does is it will create a flat file DB directory in the current folder if one is not present. So the main goal is to verify that the folder is created when the flat file persistence is initialized. Now, the describe create method, the describe create method, it will create a new file if one does not exist. The main goal is to check whether a new JSON file is created. So it will not create a new file if one exists. This test ensures that the file isn't overwritten if it is already existing. Now moving to describe insert method, it will insert object. The main test call is to insert the foo data into the file and verify it appears in the JSON file as an array. And it will throw an error if the location is not found. The main test code is the test error handling when trying to insert into a missing file. The drop method will remove the designated file if it exists. The test call is to delete the JSON file, and it will not impact the structure if file doesn't exist. Is checking that it doesn't crash if the file is already missing. Now coming to the update method, it will update an existing entry. The goal is to replace an object in the file by the matching ID, and it will not update if entry does not exist. Checks if the program throws an error for updating a non-existing record. Now moving to the delete, it will delete an existing entry. And the goal is to remove a specific record based on the ID, and it will not delete if entry does not exist as checking. That is, it tries to delete a non-existing record and expects an error. The foo data and the foo example, the purpose of this is it defines the structure of the data which is being stored and tested. So these are about the flat file and the flat file test.ts files implemented for the persistence file.